Hey guys, and welcome to my channel and to this video. Thank you so much for joining in. Today I will be using this Clairefontaine watercolor paper. It is 300 GSM or 140 pounds, cold pressed 100% cotton watercolor paper, 20 by 40 centimeters, quite long as you can see, 8 by 15.5 inches. And since I will be doing collage of 3 watercolor seas, I have divided it into 3 same equal parts, and I guess that is basically it. I will be using white nights, and also I will guide you through my painting and tell you which color at the time I'm using. So now we can get started. Let's do it. At the end, I decided to do 3 tutorials to split this collage of seas into 3 videos, and today I will be starting with the background and the first sea, and for the next 2 tutorials I'll do the second and the third one. And as I said, I've pre-wetted the entire paper, all 3 seas, and then with this very large mobile brush I'm painting in first the upper part with azure and a little bit of ultramarine, then also the lower part with same colors. Afterwards, I'm starting off with somewhere around the middle with cadmium yellow medium and painting in upwards. That is what I actually always do when paint washes. I'm not starting where I finished with the previous color, but somewhere just a little bit downwards and then going upwards to that previous color. And that is the way that you're gonna avoid mixing those 2 colors maybe into some third color that you don't actually want on your paper. Afterwards, then added a little bit of Mother Lake Red Light, again going from the middle upwards into my yellows and also downwards into the blues, also adding a little bit of the lines here and there for the movement in the sea. And when finished with that, I left it to dry completely. Quite simple background, as you can see, for all of those 3 paintings. And I did a horizon line. I drew a horizon line, the first just above the center. I started off again with a sketch, added a little bit of the hills, a mountain in the distance, a rock actually in the sea, and then started with my paint. Again, I've mixed in a little bit of ultramarine and a little bit of indigo for the horizon line, and then I first pre-wetted slightly that part from the horizon line downwards, then added the paint, indigo and ultramarine in that upper part, and then just with a clean brush, with the clean water, I've spread it slightly downwards and just to soften that edge. Also with ultramarine, I've added a couple of lines in the sea, again for some waves, some movement of the sea. A couple of lines with a little bit of smaller brush, and used in this time a violet color. I actually, in my mixes of color, azure, ultramarine, indigo, I've added a little bit of Mother Lake Red Light. Then I left that all to dry completely and started with my rock in the sea. And first I've painted it with raw sienna, then added on the right side of that hill, of that rock, added a little bit of burnt sienna and then sepia in the right side of the rock, and also a little bit downwards in that lower parts of the rock. And then when added those lines, I used again just a clean brush with a clean water, and then again smudge it slightly downwards just to make it look as though it is in some mist and it is emerging into that water. I didn't want a harsh line there in the lower part, but I did wanted to add some mystical feel. So when I used the clean brush with the clean water just to smudge that, soften that edge, I've added also just a little bit of indigo there, very light wash of indigo, just to make it look as though there are some shadows again of that rock from the sun. And that is how I finished with the rock. Actually, I did pick up a little bit of the paint. I was noticing that it didn't shine the way I wanted it, so I've used this flat brush to pick up a little bit of the paint to make it even lighter and looking like it is even more illuminated by the sun, but you don't have to do that if you're happy with your colors. and then moved on to painting the lower part, the ground. I started with a couple of trees a little bit further away to make it look as though it is in a mist. And also afterwards I've painted in with this smaller brush. I've added in just vertical lines to paint in the trees, the impression of the trees, and then added, going upwards, added some trees, a couple of branches, and that is basically it with that. At the end I also decided to add a couple of birdies to my sky, and for that I've used this smaller brush with a very pointed tip and just painted in the birds as I always do. Didn't really paint any details of them, just with the tip of my brush, added in the wings, press it a little bit harder for the body, and then again pick it up for the second wing. And that is basically it. And with that I'll be finishing off this painting and this video. Please join me in next two also. They will also be quite easy and quite fun. And I guess thank you a lot for watching, for all your support. If you haven't still, please do subscribe to my channel. That will really mean a lot to me. And maybe consider joining my channel. That's the join next to the subscribe. I'll press on that, listen to the offer and the side. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!